Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on April 12th, 2022 at approximately 2:02 p.m. PST. So, from my standpoint, things are running very smoothly. Got a little bit much on the desk right now, but then I've been out of the house all day. Okay, I was working in the office this morning. Okay, and do understand there is a very big difference between your house and your home. Okay, now before I get into it, okay, I came back to this lifetime for one primary purpose. Okay, and that is to pass on a very simple message to the world, to everybody in existence, that working together we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. Now, there will be some people that certainly will not be happy with the changes, but on the whole, it is likely to work out very nicely. The trick to it is this: I only follow three laws. Be true to yourself first. Do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. Energy out, energy in. Okay. Now, if you look at the laws that you personally follow, you'll find that they are pretty much the same. The ones that you follow, in all likelihood, fit inside the three I follow. Don't take my word for it. Compare the ones you follow, whether they're societal, whether they're the way you were raised, your religious convictions, your spiritual path, or a support group. It doesn't matter. Okay. Even your political alignment, your political affiliations fall into the same category. Okay, take a look at them. Whether you're into religion in one form or another, or spirituality, and I love the fact that people have a tendency of looking at spirituality as separate from religion. Okay, now do understand the tools I offer are the same tools that I personally put to use. The philosophies I live by, or the philosophies I talk about, are the ones I personally live by. Now, I personally do not see a difference between pagan spirituality or pagan religion and mainstream religion, like such as your Christianity, your Muslim. They're all the same to me. Even the witches' covens fall under the same branch of evaluation. This is one of the biggest things in my eyes, that I don't separate people. Now, you don't have to agree with me. The reality is, if everybody agreed with everybody, there wouldn't be a whole lot of discussion at all. Now, I remember years ago I was asked by somebody why I insist on asking questions that I already know the answers to. And my immediate response to the person was, well, if I didn't ask you the questions I already know the answer to, I wouldn't talk to you. Okay, which, by the way, was not a good answer. It was honest, but it created a lot of cross-current and conflict. Now, from your standpoint, now let's get to the separation, the difference between your house and your home. Now, the home is a feeling inside your living area. Okay, and the heart of the home is a three-chamber heart. Your living room, your dining room, and your kitchen. In most modern day, especially if you live in an apartment, most apartments, those three rooms are linked anyway. That is the three-chamber heart of the home. Okay, where the feeling is. Okay, now you can look at it and go, I don't need anybody to see what my home looks like. They don't come over, therefore it doesn't matter. That is where, from my experience, you may well be very far off kilter. I used to be a professional pack rat, and what I have come to understand is the more that I get the energy in my home running properly, the more relaxed I am. Now, that's only part of the equation. Okay, because if you look at it, when you look at the three-chamber heart, with numerology, the way I work with it, which is base 12, and I'll get into that at a different point. Okay, 3 is the number of creativity. So when you have the heart of your home feeling running smoothly, when the energy is working in tandem, in connection with it, what you'll find is your stress level collapses. Your creative side comes to the forefront, and overall you're in a better mood. That would be first and foremost. Now that's the home. Now when you're looking at the home, if your hallways are all cluttered, it's kind of like cluttering up since we've got the heart for the living room, dining room, and kitchen, the arteries are the hallways. And if you got them cluttered so you have to fight to get down them, then you have a serious problem. Because if the energy can't flow to the other sections of your house, of your home, you're going to run into some problems. And again, don't take my word for it. If you're having trouble with your energy levels, maybe you're sleeping a lot more than you'd like to. Part of that is undoubtedly the fact the energy in your house, in your home, is bottlenecked. Now, I've already got the arteries in my home, as in the hallways, are all completely cleared. I can walk up and down them with my eyes closed, except I'll run into the wall because I can't keep direction straight in my own head. But the energy itself flows quite nicely. Your entranceway is your connection to the outside world. Very much like if you're looking at a body, your mouth is your connection to the outside world. That's how you communicate. But if you look at the entranceway to your home, what you're looking at is both your mouth and your ears. Because that's where communication takes place. And in all fairness, I'm going to have to pause that for a second, and I will be back ASAP. Sorry about that. This is a live recording. Which simply means when I get done, I double check the time and the date and time and make sure I got it right, and then I post it as is. Now back to what I was saying, I hope. When you're looking at the entrance to your home, the primary door you come through, that facilitates your sight, your smell, your speech, the way you communicate with the outside world. And when we're talking about your home, a couple of things. And again, we've got the arteries all open. Bear in mind, you likely have a hallway leading from your front door, maybe not. But the thing with the front door, when you open that front door, if you have a reflective surface right in front of you, if it's movable, fantastic. If not, or if you like it where it is, that's no problem. The problem with a reflective surface right there is it will bounce the energy back out the door. It'll bounce the positive energy that you're striving to take in. And the reason I say the positive is because for some reason, people that are caught up in the negative side of things have a tendency of getting distracted by it. So when negative energy comes in, it seems to get pulled sideways into the house, but the positive stuff gets bounced. The way to counteract this is when you take a look at the energy, when you take a look at that reflective surface, whether you put a live plant, a plastic plant, a picture of a plant or decals, doesn't matter. Put it on where it comes to that reflective surface. Decals work really well. Because you put them around the outside and they don't clutter anything. But what they do and what they do cause is they open the energy in the doorway up to bring that positive energy into your home, to be able to hear, feel, smell, the whole 9 yards. So if you've got a reflective surface that you see as soon as you open the door, whether it's a mirror or a glass, and this applies, by the way, to your home or your business, it doesn't matter. Because as I've discussed before, running your home and running your house as a business will enable you to attain things that you've never even seriously considered. And I'll get to that in a little bit. But for the time being, let's go with the idea that the home itself, we've got the heart, we've got the arteries. You've got the communication, the communication side of it. Okay, when we start looking at where to get rid of the garbage in your home, where to get rid of the negative energy, that's the easy part. That's what they call the washroom. And again, if it's not kept tidy, it's kind of like having a completely blocked digestive tract. Okay, where the energy can be spun around and gotten rid of, the negative energy. Okay, but you notice, without getting too graphic about it, if if you're feeling really tied up in knots, and you go to the washroom, you'll feel better after going to the washroom. This is why the negative stuff goes out, it gets pumped out of the house, out of the home, and the positive stuff gets kept inside. Okay, very much like if your kidneys are working properly. If they're working properly, they take all the toxins out, and they leave the good energy, the positive feeling in the home. Okay. Now the washroom and the laundry room basically are the same thing. They handle different types of poisons. Okay. But again, they still have to be kept organized. Now, when when we get into things like your storage room, well, that quite often is your stomach, essentially. And a lot of people keep a lot of junk around. I don't know about you, but I used to keep a staggering amount. And here's a neat little kind of correlation. And I was just thinking about this literally just right now. A year ago, before I started really decimating the garbage I don't require in my house, okay, that I don't require here, what ended up happening is I started getting rid of it, started flushing the energy out, and all of a sudden, my weight started to come down. Okay, and you notice the correlation. I start getting rid of the physical stuff, opening the energy up to move properly, and now my weight drops. Net result, I'm feeling more energetic. I'm feeling better than I have in literally decades. Now, I'll get to the brain in a minute. Okay. And of course, you have to have a quiet place where you wind down. Okay, that quiet place, that's where the bedroom comes in. And again, if you don't have the clutter out of it, you will find that things get really bottlenecked and you don't necessarily rest well. Okay. So, I mean, these are just the component parts overall. Now, let's go to the brain of the home. The brain of the home, you get all your creative thinking done in the living room, dining room, kitchen. Okay. And some people think very well in the bathroom, which that's up to you guys. But the other part of this is the brain of the home, which is, in all fairness, that's also the brain of the house. In order to run your home properly, the house has to take over. Because in today's world, finances are the big issue. Okay. And finances do not care how you feel. They don't care what you think about. If you're wondering why I all of a sudden stop moving very much, it's because I'm dealing with a lot of dizziness right now. Don't know entirely why, don't really care entirely why. But when you look at money, money itself is not the root of all evil. Okay, people's concentration on it is a close second, but your real root of evil is in your fear. Okay. So when we take a look in the office where you work on your finances, get the energy in there moving properly. Get it tidied up. Again, the junk's gotta go. You don't have to take my word for it. But if your world is not feeling right, and you look around your house and it looks like you've got a lot of clutter, the odds are that is a great contributor to it. Okay. Now, I've got my office working quite nicely at this point. And in all fairness, the moment I made a decision, I mentioned the other day that I had made a decision to really take a solid look at the way my world was going and make some solid, concrete choices. Net result, I am now 100% debt free. Okay, I've got one bill that they think I owe, and I'm going to go and talk to a lawyer to find out how to deal with it. Because in my opinion, when somebody puts something through and you tell them don't, and they charge you for it and they build it and charge you for it anyway, that is not a debt per se. And I will do what I can with that. But the actual debts are gone. Okay, everything's up to date, and this is a feeling that cannot be compared from my experience to anything. Okay, but given where I came from, as far as the material world went, the fact I'm at this state now helps immensely. Okay, and it's very necessary that we understand that the home, or the seat of the brain for the home, is also the heart of the mind. It's the heart of the house. That's got to be running smoothly. Okay, by doing that, by getting it running properly, you will be able to do exactly what I did. Get the debts out of the way. Okay, and I will tell you this. I am not a financial advisor. Okay, and the reason I say that is I've never been trained. The tools I offer are the ones that have worked for me. Period. That's all it's been. Okay, but the fact they work for me tells me if you haven't been able to find a way to do it, okay, and you're aiming to get yourself on track, absolutely, I'd love to hear from you. Okay. Now, I've been dealing with people's situations, relationship, business, finance, aliens, UFOs, ancient races, ancient technologies. I've been dealing with all of it my entire life. Okay, and for the last 49 years, almost 49 years, okay, might have been, I don't know, but in any event, starting when I was 10 years old, my ability became public knowledge, and I started having people line up looking for me. These are all tools I've personally put to use. The one exception, okay, is I've told a lot of people how to quit smoking. I never started, but I've had enough feedback through the 80,000 plus clients I've dealt with that I know for a certainty the method that I laid out for them works. It has worked for staggering numbers of people for many different types of addictions. Okay, but it does require all of these changes require your personal work. Because the reality is the only person in existence, the only entity in existence that can be successful for you is you. Okay, that is just the critical factor behind it. Now, the reason I say talk to other people, that this is a case of working together. Okay, I was talking to a gentleman today, and by his own admission, the man is retired. But like he said, you've got to do things. You've got to look at what's working for you. Okay, this man is in better shape than I am, and I suspect, I don't know for certain, but he's got to be in his mid 70s, early 80s. He is still out working, doing yard work and what have you. Now, I'm only about to turn 59, but with a bad leg, I'm not going out to do a whole pile of yard work. Okay, this is a question of really taking a look in the mirror and going, what are you content with? I'm on a track right now where by the end of this month, by the end of April, aka before I hit 59, I will be sitting in phenomenal shape for me. This does not make me better than you. Okay, it really does not. Okay, and the reality behind it is I've made way more than my fair share of stupid moves. One thing I do encourage you to do is if you've got children, bring them up to speed on where your finances are, regardless of where your finances are. If you're doing well, absolutely bring them up to speed. Show them what you've done. If you're doing poorly, bring them up to speed. It will help them cope with the fact that you can't afford things that you'd really like. Okay. And, the reality is, like I said, I'm no financial advisor. But money doesn't care how you feel. Money does not care what you're looking for. All it does is what it does normally. And money itself is simply a different version of barter. That's all. Okay. Now, I had to really take a look at things and go, okay, where is my holdup? Okay, part of it was for me, and this was both the house and the home. I never developed any interest in finances until recently. Now, here I am, 59 years old, getting into the point where I've got to seriously look at the potential for retirement. Now, in all fairness, I'm likely going to be working until I drop dead. Okay. And as long as I stay focused on bringing my energy, bringing my health back up where I desire it to be, I won't have as big a problem. Okay. I'm still debating whether or not to bother going for a blood test because, frankly, they're going to tell me, oh, your sugar level's off and you need this pill, you need this medication in order to be healthy. And I'm looking at it going, I'm not taking the medications. I'm not about to drop dead anytime soon, but I will change my diet. I will change my activity level in order to get ahead, in order to move forward. But the reality behind it is, in order to do that, I have to take dominant control and dominant responsibility for my own actions. I cannot, and you cannot, control the reactions of anybody around you. All you can do is control your reaction to their actions. That's it. Okay. And many times, walking away from somebody who's just plain not listening is a whole lot easier on your stress levels. Okay. Now, the brain, the office where you work on your money, that is the brain of the body of the home. Okay. So we've got when you get the home working properly, you will be far more ready, far more adept at dealing with the stresses of dealing with other people outside your home. Okay. Now, this is going to sound very sacrilegious to some of you. Okay. But it's a philosophy I live by and it has served me well. Now, understanding, I was raised Christian. Okay. Do I believe in God? Absolutely. Do I believe in Christ? You bet. Call it whatever name you'd like. But take him out of him, her, it, whatever, out of the equation. I have two rules in my own home. One, okay, when you walk through the door, if I let you through the door, I'm pretty much open. You can go to pretty much anything. If you need a drink, that sort of thing, help yourself. If I'm going to let you through the door, you've already got that far. Now, here's the only two rules I operate on in the house where it comes to other people and boundaries. Rule number one, inside my home. Take this out of the spiritual world, let's leave it in the societal world. Inside my home, I'm God. What I say, that's what goes. Okay. Now, needless to say, since I've got a son living with me, okay, because my son lives with me, we discuss a lot of things. Okay. But in my house, where it comes to other people visiting, I'm God. Rule number two, if you have any questions about what's going on in my house, see rule number one. Okay. Now, that's the way I run my house. And I have decided, and this is why I'm planning for things at this point, because I'm finally at a stage where I can. I desire the best of the best in my home. I don't care what the outside really looks like. I want it to be neat and tidy, yes. But am I worried about it as in what other people see? No. I will be getting a new vehicle. There's no question there because the one I've got, it works fine. But for me, it's too low. So I will put money aside and I will go and get one when I'm ready for it. But on the whole, when I look at the outside of my home, okay, or the outside of my house, take your pick. To me, it doesn't really matter. I don't need it to look fancy and state of the art. In my house, however, inside my living quarters, I am aiming for the best of the best. Okay, for me, this means all of my furniture will be replaced. All of my wooden furniture will be replaced with oak. I will be taking the furniture that I've got when I go to get rid of it. I'm not likely to sell it. Okay, I'm likely to give it away when I've got the replacements for it. Okay, because I've already gotten my use out of it. But I'll be replacing all the furniture with oak. I am going to be replacing the second. I've got a couch that if you look at the covering on it, It's still a good couch. But the reality is it's probably about 30 years old by the look of the covering. You guys may know it's it's almost got a rainbow hue to it, that purplish kind of odd color. Mixed colors and what have you. I'm going to replace it with an oak couch. Now, obviously, I want an oak couch that has proper padding on it. But this is because I can now afford to actually look at things and upgrade to what I desire. This is extremely important. Now, this filing cabinet behind me doesn't have to be state of the art, doesn't have to be anything more than what it is. So it will probably sit there. I can't see a reason to change it right now. Okay. But again, this is a question of the home being, you take a look at your body. In my case, my health is better than it's been in 15 years. Okay. I'm not wearing them right now because I left them up front, but I can't see with them anyway. I did just upgrade my glasses, so I've got good ones I can drive with. Okay, I will be upgrading my wardrobe now. But now I'm looking at it from the standpoint of I can afford to turn around and get the things I'd like. Okay, not the things I require. What I've got and what I require, I've already got. Now I can upgrade, and you can bet your bottom dollar I will get what I'm aiming at. I may not pay full price for it, because frankly, if I can get away with it for free, I will. I wouldn't hold my life on that, and my breath on that. But I am turning things around. And I'd love to hear your comments in the comments below. I made a comment yesterday when I did when I did the live feed on Sunday. I mentioned I was going to be going live on Saturday morning from 9 to 11. I thought about it afterwards, and that's been backed up a little. It will still be Saturday morning, but for you guys, for the rest of you, I will be starting at 8 a.m. Sunday morning or Saturday morning, running till 10 a.m. Okay, on a live feed where I will answer questions from any topic. Doesn't really matter. If I know the answer, I'll give it to you. Okay. Yes, I've got books that have a lot of the information in them already. But I will answer the questions online, and we can talk about that on Saturday. Okay, just one real quick caution. If you're coming into the chat room, because I'll be on YouTube. Okay, if you're coming into the chat room, be certain that you write, if you've got questions, write them in capital letters. That way I can find them in all caps. Yes, it sounds like shouting, but at least I can find them. In any event, I will be back again tomorrow. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.